welcome back to Keeping It Real. Today's vlog is going to be all about meal planning, which is going to help you get organised. So let's begin. I use a 3-step process. So my first step would be to check what I have in the cupboards and what I have in the fridge and freezer. I just don't really have a freezer, but if you have one, check the freezer. And that's basically to see what I've currently got in stock, any fresh fruit and vegetables that are about to go out of date, or any sort of tins of things that I might have in the cupboard that I just haven't used at all. And I'll basically base my next few meals around those foods. So for instance, if I see I've got like some lettuce and tomatoes and like olives and things like that lying around that are half used or whatever, I'm gonna make a massive salad, right? Like, to use it all up in one meal, and that's just to prevent waste. We don't want to have spent all this money on really delicious, healthy, fresh food, and then we're just going to throw it away. So that is my main first step, to see what I've got, and that instantly will build your first sort of probably 3-4 meals for that week. My second step is to actually buy a meal planner, or you could create your own if you're super creative. I'm not that creative, so I have bought one. And this is my meal planner that I use, and I keep this in the kitchen, so it's always where it needs to be essentially. And I use 3 different pens for this reason, that I have a husband and he likes his own pen. That's a joke. So I use green, pink, and black. So black is that we're both gonna eat these meals. Green is just for Oliver, and pink is for we're eating out somewhere. Yeah, so just basically at a glance, we can both see like essentially what the schedule looks like. So it is a really good idea to include your schedule in your meal planning. So don't just sort of, I'm gonna say it, willy-nilly put in your meals without knowing what you're working, essentially, especially if you work different hours. That's the first thing I'm gonna do, is acknowledge when I'm working, if it's an evening, or if Oliver's working like the entire day, or basically I'll acknowledge our schedule accordingly on the meal planner. So I know Wednesday, Thursday this week, I am working late, which means Oliver's gonna have to cook on his own. So green, like I said, is just for Oliver. So that's what he's gonna eat, and normally it's food that I don't really like. Just so you know. And then pink, again, is like I said, when we're eating out. So we know on Saturday night we're actually going out for a meal, so we don't need to cook at all. So that's one meal less to factor in. My next few meals are gonna be sort of getting rid of excess food that I already currently have before cooking new fresh food, essentially. So then I'll fill that in, and then basically fill in the gaps from there. When you're going through your schedule and adding it to your meal planner, you can also see when you're gonna be working really long hours, or if your partner's gonna be working really long hours, and you can also just add that in too. So for instance, if you're working a really long day and you just know you're gonna get home and there's no way you wanna cook food, absolutely no way, then you know the day before you could make maybe a massive pot of chili or a big pot of soup, or just basically double whatever you're making the day before, and then put it in the fridge in a box ready for the next day, and there it is ready for you. All you have to do is maybe heat it, or you could eat it cold. So instead of you wanting to then go off and have like a cheeky takeaway, order a pizza because you can't bother to cook, it just stops you from doing that. Again, saving you a bit of money, and also saving your health. You're welcome. Which brings me on, essentially, to my third point. I set aside a set day each week. So for me, it's a Monday. By all means, choose your own day. Obviously Sunday is an ideal day because people don't work, but I normally am at school at the weekends. So I do all my meal planning and admin, if you like, on a Monday. And it only takes me about 15 minutes maximum. And that's basically, I grab mine and Oliver's schedule. I see when we're both gonna be in and out the house. And basically I just meal plan from there. So whilst I'm going through my meal plan, I will also make a shopping list literally on the side. So luckily I have one attached, and I can just rip this off at the end and then take it shopping with me, which I also do on a Monday. It's not a strict plan. Don't think you have to follow obviously every single meal like as it's written. So certain days, if we're just not feeling like eating pesto pasta, we want wraps, like let's just swap that round. It's not a problem at all. But we just know basically that we're gonna eat everything that's currently on that shopping list and on that plan, and we're not going to get to the end of the week and be like, oh, we never ate that, or we never ate that, or and hopefully at the end you're only just left with like little bits that you just need to then incorporate to the next meal. I hope that makes sense. So basically those are my main 3 steps on how I meal plan. But overall, I just wanted to run by sort of the benefits of meal planning essentially, and how it has definitely helped me stay on track. It just helps me to prioritize when I can eat, what I can eat, and factor in basically those stressful periods where you're like, oh my God, I'm not gonna have time for lunch today, or whatever it is. I'm fully on top of my schedule, as well as how I'm gonna stay feeling healthy and and staying on top of energy and things like that. Like I said earlier, it removes that sort of temptation of wanting a takeout or anything like that. And also it stops you from doing last minute purchases. So if you just do one shopping a week, and let's just say it's a Monday, you're going shopping on your Monday, you've got your shopping list because you've meal planned, you're not then gonna have to rush out and buy anything because you've already prepared yourself. So it just keeps costs down, it reduces waste because you're then just not buying extra things that you just didn't need to be buying. And it just reduces that stress of what am I gonna cook today, and just keeps you and your partner or you and your family on track as well, so you're staying healthy and just sort of simplifying your life where you can. And lastly, I just want to tell you a little thing that I do, also to keep things quite exciting, because I think as humans, obviously we are very habitual. What's the word? We like habit. And so therefore we stick to the same meals, the same foods, probably every single week. So I always have a set sort of thing in my head where I want to make a new recipe every week, just one. It could be like for any sort of meal of the day, build up that repertoire of cooking that I've gained. Or I will buy a new fruit or vegetable that I've never cooked before, and learn how to cook it. And that's always really fun. And it just keeps things exciting. And also, I can improve my cooking skill. So it is a win-win. I hope you actually take some of these on board, because meal planning is just, I want to say it's life-changing. It's life-changing. So it gives you more time and less stress. So go forth and plan your meals. You're welcome.